Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to take a little bit of a step aside from talking about the collecting side and opening products and the grading side of Pokemon, and just talk about the Pokemon TCG itself. I do really enjoy collecting and everything like that. Of course, that is such a big part of what I do and what got me into the Pokemon TCG. But over the last 8-9 months is where I really started to play the TCG a lot more, and started to get coaching and started to learn to get better, going to regionals, things like that. I was even just at this past Indianapolis regionals, which kind of sparked me wanting to make this video because honestly, with the Indianapolis regionals, I feel like it kind of wrapped things up for me in a way where it just made me feel, even though I didn't do well, it just made me feel more passionate and more motivated about the Pokemon TCG than ever. And I'm hoping, especially once the new season gets going, we start hitting the ground running, that we can try to really get going and starting to really compete in the TCG and just start to get better and, have a lot more fun with it. But yeah, I kind of wanted to just talk about my experience with that. Maybe it'll motivate you guys to pick up the TCG and want to play more, but I just think it was a lot of fun and it was such a cool experience that I just wanted to kind of share it with you guys. So obviously, for those of you who, watch the channel or been around for a bit or even have followed me on Twitter, you guys will see me typically just talking about, basic stuff with the Pokemon TCG. Like I said, mainly I've been, collecting and grading and that kind of stuff, which is all well and good. And I always love that aspect of Pokemon, that there is so much to collect on top of playing. I feel like you don't get too many TCGs where that's a big thing, but Pokemon, it's such a big thing where it's like, yeah, you can always collect, but obviously you have the game aspect of it as well. And to kind of have both of those, it's really nice. But I never really played the TCG much to kind of get started. I did play it once or twice throughout the last few years prior to the past year. I was always just kind of like, you know what, I want to pick it up for a little bit, see how it is. I remember in 2014, a friend of mine, we picked up the World's 2014 Championship decks and started to play a little bit. And when I learned how to play, it was really fun. I remember I had like a Virizion Genesect deck, which was really busted, at least what I thought personally. But we were playing with that for a little bit. It was cool, but we didn't really pursue it much after that. We were just kind of, buying cards to collect and all that stuff. And then when it came to a few years ago, I remember I tried to pick it up a little bit as well, wanting to play a little more online. I had played an ADP Z deck, and that was kind of fun, honestly. It was busted, but it was fun. So that's kind of what I was playing then. But from then on, I was kind of just more so collecting for a few years until last year when Obsidian Flames came out. And I don't really know what it was exactly, but when, all these sets are coming out, obviously, again, there's so much for me collectability wise that I was like, there's just so many beautiful cards coming out, especially when Sword and Shield started doing alt arts and everything. Then they did like Crown Zenith, which was an incredible set. Like, all these different things really made me want to just continue to collect the TCG because there's so many beautiful cards, and that's something I really like about, collecting these cards. But when Obsidian Flames came out, I had seen Charizard EX, and I was like, that seems like a pretty powerful card. And I was like, you know what? Surely someone's got to make a deck around this, right? I think it's a really cool card. Charizard's not my favorite Pokemon, to be honest. And I know he is a popular Pokemon, of course. But I was like, you know what? I want to start learning how to play. And I think this will be a deck to start doing it. At the same time, we had Worlds going on, and I started watching Worlds as well. And I was watching that, and I was like, wow, this looks really cool. And I was starting to get really, hyped and invested into it. And it really just made me more excited to get into the Pokemon TCG. And at the time, I was trying to really figure out, after Worlds and after watching it, I was like, all right, what's going to be the best way for me to start learning how to play, whether it's through coaching, just playing the live game and learning myself, whatever is going to have to happen. I will have to kind of figure all of that out. But what's the best thing that I can do to start learning for myself and kind of how I, go about learning things? And luckily enough, I had seen somebody had actually retweeted someone's post that they were selling some of their World stuff that they had. And at the time as well, and obviously still now, I do collect playmats and sleeves as well. And to get some of the World stuff, I was like, yeah, that'd be really cool because it's some exclusive, mats and sleeves and stuff. So I reached out to the person and said, hey, I want to buy, these playmats and your sleeves and whatnot. But then I had also seen in their description on their profile was that they were a coach as well. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. That'd be really cool to get, some coaching from a World competitor. And, we started talking for a little bit. He was really cool. And I was like, let's try to set something up. He had a consultation option available to try to go over it. And so he can kind of get an idea where I'm at, how he's going to feel like he wants to start coaching me and directing me and everything. And fast forward, he's been my coach from all the way then up until now and still going to be my coach. And that, by the way, is Josh Frink, who, if you guys don't know, he got top 4 recently at Orlando. Like I said, he was a world competitor last year. He was a world competitor this year as well. And so I'm really hoping for him, or rooting for him and hoping he does well. He's an incredible player, and I think, he's just such an amazing coach as well and such an amazing person. I really recommend that if you guys are looking for coaching and looking to try and just get either better at the TCG or just looking to just even start learning how to play, definitely take that route, do a few coaching sessions and see how you feel about it. That's kind of what I did at first. I remember I'd done coachings for like other things as well. Like I did, chess and stuff like that, for example. And it obviously depends on the person and what you find and whatnot. And there's so many different factors. But for me, I think just coaching with him, it just was really nice. Like I said, he's just a really great person. He made me feel comfortable while coaching and just made me feel like really wanting to play this. Like I was just, I don't know, I feel like with the coaching, it just helped a lot more, making me feel more excited about it and wanting to learn more, just like really feeling, passionate about wanting to learn and motivated to learn the TCG and start to compete and play more. And so, throughout the whole time since Charizard's been out, that's the one thing I've played and that's the one thing he's coached me on. I almost switched once or twice, but I kind of just stuck with Charizard because for me, it's just a deck that I've been playing for, so long now that I was just like, I felt comfortable. Although with this last kind of run, especially since the UIC and everything, with how the decks changed, it became a lot more skillful and it was a lot more to think about. And for me, it's something I started to struggle with a little bit. So we may be changing off of that. But obviously we have things like Dragapult TX coming out, and I haven't really looked too much into it besides knowing that Dragapult TX is insane. So we'll see how some decks end up playing out with Dragapult TX. But nonetheless, all throughout Peoria regionals, Toronto regionals, and up until now with Indy regionals, he has been coaching me every step of the way, and I've really appreciated it. And he's just helped me out so much with all of this. Now, the thing is, I really haven't done anything else, competing wise besides that, just because I did have kind of other things going on at the time and a lot of other, having a lot of other things come up. And so it was harder for me to really look for opportunities to compete besides some of the regionals. And especially with Peoria was a bit closer. Toronto was a little bit of a drive, which I had driven with him up there as well, which was really nice. And that was just a great experience. And then going to Indy regionals as well is pretty close. But with Indy regionals specifically, it was really nice because I just met so many, new and great people. I was down there with friends that I had as well. And, it was just a great time. And I think with some of the people that I've met, through different means, like the last guy that I played, he was like, oh yeah, where are you from? Whatever. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm from, near the Chicago area. And he's like, oh yeah, we have a store up there. Like we play all the time. He's like, me and my girlfriend, we have like a small group of people that we play with. He's like, yeah, if you can make it out, it'd be cool. Like, it's just like that kind of experience kind of summed it up for me. I was like, this is what I feel like the Pokemon TCG is about, and competing and everything. Because at the end of the day, yeah, you are competing, you're having to think and play and all that stuff, but like that's the side of Pokemon that I loved the most, and being able to play against these people. Like I was so, I don't know, just like happy about the experience that I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to be able to go to events with friends, meet people there, and make new friends throughout this whole thing, and just grow not only along with the Pokemon community in general, like I have been, which I've absolutely loved and appreciated on like the collecting side and everything, but also on the TCG side, like meeting so many new people and making new friends. Like that's what it is for me. And it also just kind of like gives me that, or it also just kind of like fills that urge for my competition, my competitive side, because I love to compete. I really do. And, I'm happy that I get to be, passionate in something that I really enjoy, that even though like I may not have done well, and I may still struggle here and there, that I'm just going to continue to compete until I find a way that I know I can break through and continue to be better. So I think that if you guys are considering it, definitely look into getting into the Pokemon TCG if you can, if you think you have the time to try to, compete and do things like that. And again, you don't have to look to really grind and it's like, I got to go to all these league challenges, league cups, whatever. Make time for it. Try to pick it up a little bit and see how you feel. You have online tournaments as well. Like, just start to play the game a little more. and, see where it falls for you. And then hopefully maybe you'll want to start doing coachings and really start to compete, go to, locals, go to regionals, all that fun stuff. We even saw Leon Hart, who's such a big, figure in the Pokemon community. He's starting to want to get into the TCG as well. And that's awesome. I think it's an absolutely great experience. I think everyone should give it a shot and just see how it goes from there. And if you think you can go with it, even if not, going to events still is a lot of fun and meeting new people, even if you're not going to compete, just watching. I think it's a great time. But yeah, that's kind of my experience with it. And like I said, I'm hoping next season I'm going to hit the ground running and just really start to compete a lot more. Again, for me personally, I'm just a big competitor. So I'm going to be trying to just, practice, 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 go, go, go. Like I'm just going to be, head first into all of this and really try to do the best I can and continue to compete. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy. I'd be curious to know what you guys think. If you guys play the TCG, let me know. Maybe we can try to start playing sometime. But as always, we're still going to be doing openings, of course. Twilight Masquerade is around the corner. We're going to be opening up a case of that for sure. Got to get those gold buddy poffins for my decks, But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and see you in the next one. Peace.